Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're a fan of HBO's The Gilded Age, or if you gave it a pass the first time around, listen up, because this season is shaking things up in the best way possible. After some mixed reactions to the earlier episodes, and even last season, The Gilded Age just aired what many are calling its best episode yet. Yep, this period drama has finally hit its stride, delivering emotional depth, shocking twists, and some seriously powerful storytelling. Before we dive into the juicy details, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our deep dives into your favorite shows and movies. And if you want, drop your thoughts on the show in the comments, especially about that intense episode 7. All right, let's talk about what went down. For a show that critics once called tedious and boring, and I admit I was one of those critics, this season has flipped the script. Suddenly, characters feel more alive, stakes feel higher, and the storylines are actually moving somewhere. The latest episode, it was nothing short of gripping. Now, if you caught episode 7, you know it wasn't the usual surface-level drama that dominated past seasons. Sure, the episode had its share of classic Gilded Age intrigue. There was a gunshot right before the credits that left jaws dropped, Elizabeth Kirkling stirring the pot in her typical meddling way, and Bertha Russell's ambition causing cracks in her own family. But the real standout moment came early, and it was emotional, raw, and nearly set the Van Rhijn family household on fire. Figuratively, of course. Oscar Van Rhijn, played brilliantly by Blake Ritson, is a character who's been quietly simmering in the background for a while now. He's the stuffy, reserved son of a wealthy family, and this episode finally gave him his moment to shine, or rather, to break. Oscar's been living a secret life, carrying the burden of being a closeted gay man in the restrictive, judgmental society of the 1890s. When his lover and financial savior, John Adams, passes away, Oscar is left with an inheritance, but also a heavy heart and a secret he can't fully reveal. At John's funeral, Oscar sits in the back pew, distant and isolated, like a stranger. When his mother Agnes, played with steely grace by Christine Baranski, asks why Oscar is the beneficiary of such generosity, he can only say they were friends. That one word, spoken with a mixture of anger and pain, sends shockwaves through the room. His cousin Marion's stunned gasp and Agnes's silence speak volumes. It's the closest thing we've seen on this show to a coming-out moment, and it's as powerful as it is heartbreaking. No one says the words aloud, but everyone understands. Oscar's grief, his love, and his loneliness are finally laid bare, and it's impossible to look away. This moment is a perfect example of why this season of The Gilded Age feels so much stronger than the last two. The show is tackling prejudice head-on, not just racism, but also homophobia and the stifling social rules of the era. Oscar's story is a quiet, painful exploration of the cost of living a double life, especially when society refuses to acknowledge who you really are. The show's creator, Julian Fellowes, known for his work on Downton Abbey, has long been interested in exploring these upstairs-downstairs dynamics. And this season, he's using Oscar's character to shine a light on LGBTQ discrimination in the late 19th century, a topic rarely explored in period dramas. Oscar's struggle is different from Peggy Scott's, who faces brutal racism as a black woman. Oscar can try to hide his true self, but that comes with its own kind of loneliness and pain. His world is one of silent suffering, where love must be hidden and true feelings buried. Historically, there was a visible, though underground, gay culture in New York during this era, centered in rough neighborhoods like the Bowery, places the upper class, like the Van Rhijns, would never openly associate with. Historian George Chauncey's research shows how this gay subculture was linked to working-class vice and nightlife, making it even harder for someone like Oscar to come out without risking everything. On The Gilded Age, Oscar and John are the only gay characters whose stories are explored in depth. We've seen hints before, like the cameo of Oscar Wilde last season, or the queer painter John Singer Sargent, but Oscar's journey is the most detailed and humanized. Interestingly, Oscar's character arc has evolved from a scheming villain to a deeply sympathetic figure. We saw this shift especially when he showed compassion for Maud Beaton, a con artist and sex worker who deceived him, highlighting the complexity of social pressures and survival in their world. The episode's emotional punch was amplified by some truly standout performances. Louisa Jacobson's Marion, previously criticized for being a bit flat, delivered a moving scene where she comforts Oscar and promises to stand by him. A rare moment of understanding and solidarity in a harsh society. It mirrors the kindness shown by John's sister Nancy, adding layers of warmth to a story otherwise filled with secrecy and pain. So why does this matter? Well, the Gilded Age isn't just about fancy clothes and scandalous parties anymore. It's about people trapped by their social roles, fighting to be seen and loved for who they really are. And it's doing it with nuance and heart. If you've been skeptical about the show before, this season might just win you over. The characters feel real, the stakes feel personal, and the show's willingness to address tough issues makes it stand out in the crowded world of prestige TV. If you want to see more videos breaking down the latest episodes, character arcs, and hidden meanings in your favorite shows, make sure to subscribe. And if you loved this breakdown, smash that like button and share this video with your friends. Also, don't forget to comment below. What did you think of Oscar's breakthrough scene? Have you been surprised by how much you're enjoying this season of The Gilded Age? Let's get the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for more deep dives into the world of TV and entertainment.